Hey, I'm good, thanks. How are you? Good morning. Just fine and dandy. Capital. Quite tickled. Yeah. For which one? Oh, yeah. Yeah, the baseline voice. What is your baseline voice? It depends on the environment. If I'm in a cafeteria with a lot of people talking and I need to speak over them, my baseline voice for that environment is probably going to be a few more octaves higher. Right, can you see see how just to be able to speak in a comfortable, relaxed state. Right, so if you have to put any emphasis for entertainment, emotional communication, right? If you were just to say no, no, right? One implies, right? If you hear like no, but if you hear no, no, thank you. Right. I mean, these are what is the baseline for what? If I'm talking to young children and we're learning our ABCs, it might sound like, all right, kids, we're going to learn our ABCs. You see how the pitch goes up a little bit, doesn't it? Why is that? They're lower to the ground. Why does our pitch go up? Right? And when we're talking to people above us, we almost seem to lower our tone. We pull it from our loins. Or when we're speaking to kids, it's just kind of, we're just pulling it out of thin air. They don't really know. There's more of a lax state. The thing, it subconsciously knows the kid's not going to judge it as much. It can't arrest it. It has a height advantage. Right, there's a lot of factors that go into why we might say, hey, how are you? To a little, or even a dog, right? If you're talking to a dog, hey, little good mama Peter. But you just, it would look silly if a grown man, muscular, 50-year-old guy, you might talk to them like that in some situations. Guess whose surprise party it is? Right? Just for whatever. But in general, you're probably not going to greet them with, hey, how are you doing? Right. I mean, it's not going to be that high pitched either, probably. Why? Why is that? I don't know. Are you programmed? What's wrong with you? Some people know. For some people, that doesn't exist. They don't want to have any kind of, everything has to be monotone, no fluctuation, no emotion. They want to eliminate any judgment or opinion, either being casted at them or coming from them. Right, you learn this universal tongue, so to speak. Yeah, in a lot of our classes, it's the point is to do the exact opposite. Actually, kind of like a desensitization classes. I don't know if you've ever been in those, but sometimes people will pay for it. Sometimes people that are a little sensitive to swear words, like it really bothers some people. They were brought up to believe it was a sin. Yeah, it's unattractive, sure. Okay. So is killing babies and abusing children and ignoring it and promoting Botox and stem cells and nasty fucking dangerous drugs onto young children. Yeah, but you worry about our vulgar language calling out the sick motherfuckers, okay? Anyways. Yeah, I mean, it just, our eyes almost go crossed. I think they do sometimes. They're gonna get stuck that way one of these days. Yeah, our baseline voice, I mean, I guess would say in general the way we're kind of talking right now. I don't know. Right, I mean, sometimes if we're reading from a book or we do. We have a tendency. I can remember when we were put on the programs back when we were 18. I know a lot of the druggies and sluts and pieces of shit around us, they hated, they always said we talked like a baby. I didn't hear it. I don't know what they're talking about to this day. It's just the way I talk. You mean I'm talking like a baby? Am I whining? What am I whining about? What are you talking about? Yeah, because I've spent my lifetime listening to you nasty fucks whine and complain and support your nasty fucking lifestyles and addictions and put other people in danger with your targeting and rhetoric of the, yeah, get the retards, huh? I know one of the reasons we were put on the programs when we were 18 and the people involved with those things that were just trying to help, right? I know they try to justify it. It's sick. Yeah, to not even engage in it in the first place would be a smart idea, but they feel as though they're helping people. Yeah, look at where those people went back in the 90s. Yeah, so in 2000 when I was put on the programs, yeah, and a lot of the investigators were kind of calling that stuff out. Yeah, they all scattered, just like they always do in these cases and situations. Some went to Hawaii, some went to Texas, some went to Florida, some went to California, some went to Canada, some went to Australia. Yeah, I think those were some of the ones that got pissed off. Remember when Elon Musk bought X? Some of those activists over in Australia got upset for some reason. I know it's interesting when you look at these guys like Elon Musk or David Wilcock. How did he vaporize himself, anyways? Yeah, when you see these cases every so often, people disappear, they die, they overdose, and they all seem to be connected to these investigations. So where's the cover up? Where's the concerns? The concerns are these punks and networks and people fucking little kids and targeting innocent people. Right, the child and animal pornography that gets fed out. That's a huge concern. The drug bomb coming up from Africa, the catalytic converter chop shops, huge part of these investigations and trafficking lines. 2006, 7, right before the abortion miscarriage talk came into play, selling the babies in breast milk. Yeah, they were busting a lot of those chop shops. Take a look. All the way from Georgia up to Canada. Even in 2016, 17, 18, 19, take a look at the cocaine trains they were busting up in Canada, connected again to some of those catalytic converter chop shops. Now, Bomdi, that drug they get from the old catalytic converters, the older the better, right? That old rust. It's like eating someone's liver, huh? Right. So, I mean, not exactly the same. It's a little different, yeah. Right. So, I mean, this drug is pretty powerful, and they can slip it and roofie someone pretty easy with it, too. They lace marijuana. They do a whole bunch of shit. And this stuff will put people into a rocked state for days. Yeah, like bumpity bump world. I remember it was getting pretty bad. It was around that time, yeah, 2006, 7, 8. And then again in 2012 and 13. And then again in 2016. Yeah, there were little rounds of it, of people being given that stuff, and you'd see them out in the street. And they'd just be standing there, hunched over, rocking. You try to talk to them, hey. Nothing. Like they're just looking the other way, talking to something. Hey. Right, it's hard to get their attention. Right, I mean, it's one thing if someone's just talking to themselves. You see that all the time. I talk out loud to myself all the time. Right, but if you say, hey, and be like, hey, what's up? No problem, I'm totally coherent. Yeah, I got a lot of classes going on in my head. Thinking out loud helps me sometimes express myself. If I'm too loud or bothering anybody, yeah, I usually will do it in my own space. And if there are people around, it's no different than talking or having a conversation with somebody, or if I was on the phone, or if I was talking to people in class on my laptop. Right, I'm not talking to myself. There's actually people here listening to me. Plus we have the listeners and the spies and the hackers. Plus we have the ones that are assigned to us. So there's a lot of different listeners. So I'm not sure. Right, if you try to talk to us, we can look at you in the eye and say, hi, my name's Mary. What's up? Right, we're very coherent. Right, so the fact that they try to put people into a bucket of hearing voices, talking to themselves as though they're another one of their drugged up little pawns on the street that they feed. Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We've been a big worm for a while. Yeah, we were trained pretty well in that when we were 18 and put on the programs. I know, when you see the companies we were working for, such as East Coast Marketing, Apex Marketing, Smokies Carnival, I'm pretty sure if you go back in that time frame too, you'll see a lot of shutdowns, 9/11, the connection with those fundraising companies and fundraising for firefighters and police and special needs children, and the snuff film market and hiring druggies off the street. No problem. See how we don't have a problem with any of that. People need to work, raise money for good causes. Yeah, go ahead. We're concerned about the innocent people that fall between the cracks, that get put in their snuff films. It's another entertainment industry. They just make sure it's the sluts and the big mouths and the problem people that deserve it. They're destitutes to society. They're never going to make it. It's just going to be another leech on the system anyways. Right, so this was back in the 90s and early 2000s, a lot of that was being uncovered. Yeah, I mean, us personally, we're lucky we survived, huh? I know, I mean, to uncover it at that level, I mean, to make it out alive is incredible. Usually it's just other people that were involved, watchdog groups, and they often have a hard time too exposing the truth and the facts with these cases. Right, David Wilcock? Right, and then when you see those trafficking lines and the connection with like biker gangs that want to help children and pass out toys, and over the years and going back to the 90s and the 80s when you start to understand a lot of those drug trafficking lines and the children that were hearing voices coming from their closets and parents fucking with them, and the kids actually hearing things and having experiences. They're fucking with the kids. Right, you know, Cameron's Closet is a good example of that. It's a little softer than the real life experiences, but they did do a good job kind of relaying that information in that movie. You have a young boy, Cameron. He hears voices in his closet. His mother's a pill-popping alcoholic, and his father is obviously involved with some dealings on the side. They don't really get into that in the movie, but that movie was based off of different drug deals and stuff, and the father or the stepfather involved with that stuff ends up getting pushed out the window by an invisible force. Right, and then when you see how they use the little kids hearing voices as some kind of symptom to get them in the door for other funding. Yeah, if you go back into the 90s in those days and you look at what was happening with a lot of that stuff, and they would ignore just the actual kind of connections and ionic, right, the simplicity and understanding. It kind of unfolds a lot of the mysticism over the years in syndicated markets, and they never like to do that. They like to keep it covered up, cherry pick their little subjects to get the funding. Right, so when you really start to understand these things, I mean, hopefully it helps you come out of the cloud of stupid, childish bullshit. I'm not sure what fucking planet you're on or what planet you think you're going to. Jesus Christ, right? I mean, are you having a hallucination? Are they eating babies? Are they going to make you eat maggots? Where are these child poly-pedo rings at, Mr. Jones? Where are all the producers? Because it seems like so many of you are just profiting from the vicious loop and circle of sharing recycled videos, real and fake content of this abuse. You're just all fucking watching it and sharing it and targeting innocent people. You sick fucks. So anyways, my name's Mary, and we're at the Augusta, Maine, Governor John Hill Mansion in Augusta, Maine. I just want to make sure you heard that. It's in Augusta, Maine. My name is Mary, Governor Hill Mansion. We've lived here since 2006 when our home was burnt down out in Whitefield by savages who threw a fireball through the back window. Shortly after I was diagnosed with Lyme disease and going through some treatment and having a Hexheimer state. I know, right? These people, man, the lack of basic understanding of a bacterial overload and the symptoms with which one may go through when cleansing all those bacterias, and how all of this is being ignored, and they target innocent people that are liabilities to their nasty fucking businesses and lies. It's sick. It's sick and it's disgusting and it's disturbing, and they use whatever associations to get whatever groups going. Cartel, druggies, get the bully, get the non-vaxxer. As you can see, they have them getting involved at age 12, 13 years old. Get the Karen, non-vaxxer, dangerous non-vaxxer. It's going to bring back measles. Yeah, it's disgusting. The fear propaganda and medications they've been feeding these kids, who then turn into psychotic people in the systems and having children of their own that get fucking beaten to death. Yeah, it's really cute, isn't it? Right, so we're here at the Governor Hill Mansion in Augusta, Maine. My name is Mary. The abuser's name is Michael Garand. And him having custody of those children is what the fucking problem is. Those are hostages, and people need to wake the fuck up. We need the facts reported on, is what needs to be done. And how people are not reporting on the facts and ignoring these things and peddling fucking childish junior high drama is disturbing. Is fucking disturbing, and we're going to keep speaking out and doing the best we can to try to stop that sickness and infestation from getting worse than it already is. Have you noticed, like, the back and forth? You know, it's like a tennis match, huh? All right, so do you have any suggestions as to how we can get the news media, the State Department people, those responsible for protecting children and reporting the facts to the public, How can we get those people to report on the facts and what's happening here and how we have child molesters that like to fucking beat up little kids with the custody of our children that were vaccine injured in 2013 behind our back after we'd already spent years dealing with these fucking hags and psychos? Anybody? All right. When you do have any rational suggestions without breaking the law, I mean, it's easy just to say, well, if that's the truth, someone will do something about it, or I'd take their motherfucking head off. Okay, so not options. Do you understand non-negotiable situations? Hostage situations? Okay, so we can't really do too much about it. The least you can do is fucking put a spotlight on it and expose it, as opposed to letting them continue to get away with it and walk around with these kids in broad daylight like it's not happening, being protected by fucking fraudsters and sluts and fucking druggies. Are you kidding me? This is fucking traumatizing to a lot of good people in these communities, and we've seen a lot of those good people get killed and have their children targeted. Time for you to wake the fuck up, buddy. 1, 2, 3. I'd sell your businesses if I were you. Pack your shit and get the fuck out of here, is what I would do if I were you, with what you've been doing in this community. To anyone else listening, these facts need to be reported on. These children need help. Again, the abuser's name is Michael Garand. He was born 6/22/1984, and him and his sick fucking mother Shirley are two of the sickest, most abusive, fucking nastiest, sadistic people I have ever met on the face of this earth, how they like to fucking abuse little kids. And it horrifies me knowing my sweet children are in the custody of those nasty fucks. And when you understand the child and animal pornography they've been feeding out to you activist groups and others, and how you fucking people turn your heads to it because it keeps your drug lines quiet, some of your secrets. You don't want people to know how nasty and fucking stupid you are, targeting dog kickers while they're fucking the kids? Huh, Miss Cyrus? Mr. Rogan? You pukes got anything to say, or you just want to fucking promote more psychedelics and fighting? And dog ass powder. Wow. Just trying to keep it real, that's all. When anyone cares, we have kids here in the hands of these sick fucking murderers, pedophiles, and it needs to be addressed and exposed as to how they've been getting away with it all these years, and how that shit's been getting fed out to investigators and feeders and chasers, and that's just become another fucking business, you sick fucks. Keep watching and chasing, motherfuckers. We got producers right here when anyone cares. Facts. Those are facts, and we're going to keep speaking out until the proper authorities step the fuck up and report this on the national news.
At Garden of Life, we combine a range of probiotic
I mean, yeah, when you think about it, it already has been. The president knows. She knows. And no more hot dogs. Kim knows. They all know. You can do about it. All you can do is just watch. Just watch. Oh, little Mr. Potato Head. You were always my favorite. Grab it with your teeth. One is all you need, Mother Ape Ass. You're welcome, sweetheart. How are you? Sweet city woman. Bon, c'est bon, 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 c'est bon, 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 c'est bon, 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 bon. Bon, c'est bon, 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 bon. I love this song. Sweetheart and bitter nuts. I can almost touch you. Sweet, sweet city woman. You're welcome.